So, you know how when you try to fix something, you just make it a million times worse? Like you try to get a small stain out of your shirt and you end up with a giant wet patch that looks way more suspicious. Well, that's basically what just happened with the war in Ukraine. Just a few days ago, the US and Russia secretly cooked up a 28-point peace plan. A peace plan. It was supposed to be the end game. Instead, it backfired and started a whole new diplomatic war, this time between America and its closest allies in Europe. This is the wild story of how a secret blueprint for peace accidentally declared war on the group chat. Alright, picture this. For months, the Trump administration has been in full-on secret agent mode. You've got officials like Secretary Driscoll and Special Envoy Witkoff shuttling between Washington and Moscow, all very cloak and dagger. Then, last week, someone leaks the 28-point draft. And the contents? Ooh, the contents are spicy. The plan reportedly demands that Ukraine can never, ever join NATO. It's like being permanently banned from the cool kids table. It also calls for Ukraine to just give up territory, effectively recognising Donetsk, Luhansk and Crimea as de facto Russian. It would even force Ukraine to withdraw from parts of Donetsk it still controls, which means handing Russia territory it couldn't even win on the battlefield. That's like losing a race and the judges give you the gold medal anyway. And who's going to oversee all this? A joint American-Russian working group. Now notice who's not in that group. Maybe Europe? US officials swear they got input from Kyiv, but to everyone in Europe, this wasn't a peace plan. It was, as one critic put it, a Kremlin wish list. So Europe wakes up, reads the morning paper, and they are not happy. Imagine finding out your friends planned your birthday party without you, and the theme is everything you hate. Britain, France, and Germany were completely blindsided and furious. They didn't even bother with a counter-proposal. They just hit back with a list of don't even think about it. European leaders, including Ursula von der Leyen, laid it all out. Their principles are basically 1. You don't get to redraw maps by force. 2. There will be no limits on Ukraine's military that leave it looking like a weak little kitten. And 3. If we're talking about a deal to secure peace in Europe, maybe, just maybe, Europe should be at the centre of it. This is a complete rewrite of the American plan. It shreds the NATO ban, saying Ukraine can join whenever the members agree. It throws out the idea of just ceding territory and says any talks about land have to start from the current front line, after a ceasefire. But here's the most crucial part. The US plan offered Ukraine some vague, reliable security guarantees. Europe came back and said, oh, no, we want the good stuff. They are demanding an American guarantee that mirrors Article 5, the absolute core of NATO that says an attack on one is an attack on all. And they're insisting that any security group has to include the US, Ukraine, Russia, and the Europeans. They refuse to be left out of a conversation about their own home. The difference between these two visions is insane. It's not a crack, it's the Grand Canyon. On one side you have America's plan, and on the other you have America's best friends telling them it's terrible. This reveals a massive disagreement on the future of Europe itself. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, you might want to subscribe to see how this whole mess unfolds. This isn't just a disagreement, like whether pineapple belongs on pizza. This is a full-blown, you went behind my back crisis of trust. By talking directly with Moscow, the US basically confirmed Europe's deepest fear, that its security will be decided in a backroom deal by two big powers, right over their heads. And President Trump, being Trump, just poured gasoline on the fire, recently criticising Ukraine for showing zero gratitude for these efforts. In response to Europe's pushback, the secret plan has reportedly been trimmed from 28 points down to 19. But all the most sensitive parts are still right there. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio is trying to put a positive spin on it. But European leaders are basically shouting from the rooftops that no real deal can be reached quickly. And Russia? Oh, Russia is just sitting back with its popcorn, loving the chaos. The Kremlin has made it clear it much prefers the American plan and thinks the European ideas are just unconstructive. All of this leaves Ukraine's President Zelensky in an impossible spot, stuck between his biggest military backer and his biggest European partners. Does he accept a deal that his own people would see as a total surrender? Or does he risk ticking off his most critical ally in Washington? When you peel it all back, what we're seeing is more than just a debate over a peace plan. It's a battle for the soul of the Western alliance and the future of security in Europe. The main question is no longer just how to end the war in Ukraine, but who gets to decide the terms of peace on the entire continent. The rift between the US and its allies is now a central front in this conflict, and how it gets resolved, or if it can be resolved at all, will have consequences that echo for decades. What do you think this split means for the future of NATO? Let me know in the comments below.